Hi, it's Andrew Mitchum here, the Forex Trading Coach, and we're joined today by John. Hi there, John.
Hi there, Andrew. How you going?
I'm fantastic. Hey, John, just wondering if you could just let everybody know who you are, where you are, what you do.
Okay, my name's John Alberghini, and I'm currently living in Doha, Qatar, originally from Perth, and I've been trading Forex since mid-2007 when I was introduced to it by a friend of mine. But previous to that, my father had a bit of a time where he was introduced into the commodities trading, futures trading, which sort of interested me a lot in those days. It was a fair few years in between where I was able to get back into the retail side of it with the Forex trading, which I'm immensely in love with. And I think it's the most easiest businesses that anyone can start. And you can start with small capital and then just build up from there as you get better. And I've had my ups and downs, and finally came across yourself, Andrew, in 2013, the beginning of 2013, when after doing a couple of courses, which were quite costly, I didn't have much joy with those. The strategies that they used were good and did work, but they sort of didn't seem to work for me. And the trainers and educators, they were leaving the company for some reason, so it didn't sit well with me.
Okay.
But finally came across you through Forex Peace Army.
Hi. Yes. Yep.
When you were releasing your story of your journey of dairy farmer to Forex trader.
Yeah.
And as a young kid, I was brought up on a farm as well. I sort of thought, oh, well, this is something that I can maybe relate to. Amazing how your journey that you were going through I could relate to that as well, ups and downs and trying to find the right person, the right strategy and the right system. So, so I read a few of those each. I think you were releasing them each week, weren't you?
That's right. Yeah, episode per week.
Yeah, and also I noticed that you were doing the currency weakness and strength, daily currency weakness and strength. So I sort of followed those using my own style of trading and had a little bit of success, and finally decided to make contact with you. And I don't know if you remember, but I've still got all the emails that we've sort of gone backwards and forwards. And when you said that there was a cost to your course and that, I thought to myself, oh, well, here we go again. And I vowed to myself that I was not going to spend any more money on any courses. So after I think it was about 8 months, after conversing backwards and forwards with yourself, and you were great about it, you just were saying to me, okay, just follow the daily currency strengths and weaknesses, and you introduced me to your weekly podcasts.
Yes,
which were really enlightening to me. It was general information, but it was enough to sort of keep me on track, so to speak. And this is from you is where I learned more about looking at your trading in a percentage gain on your account instead of PIP or monetary gains. And doing a little bit more research on that, I noticed that the hedge funds and the in the financial industry, if they can make 2% or 3% a month, like they're like champions of the financial industry, And so I thought, okay, well, finally bit the bullet, vowed to my wife. I said, right, this is the last one. If this one doesn't work, that's it. I'm out. And after doing the course, I went through it relatively quickly because of the knowledge that I had already in the industry. But it sort of put everything together for me. The checkpoints for each part of the strategy or the trade setup to look at sort of helped me out a lot. And I was able to find the right trades quite quickly at the start. Sort of tapered off a little bit as I as I sort of went into it a little bit more, because I was looking for the trades instead of letting the trades present themselves.
Yeah.
But I think so. I signed up with you at the end of 2013, so 14. This is our sixth year now. Sixth year.
It's a long time.
Trading. Yeah, and every year I've been profitable, which has never happened before.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've been very, very pleased with that.
Yeah, excellent.
Small account, still have a small account at that stage. And then with your webinars, this is something that I think many of the people are lucky now, because when I started with you, you used to have the webinars every bi-weekly.
Yes.
So I had to arrange my work on that week that the webinar was on to sort of try and take time off a little bit earlier so I could get home and watch the webinars because of the time zone difference. This is when I was in Perth at those days. And yeah, we just went from strength to strength there. We sort of discussed about how to grow the account, not only through trading, but using the account as a savings account as well. So regularly adding small amounts that you can afford to save instead of putting them into a bank account where your interest return was not going to be that high. You could add a little bit into your Forex trading account and slowly grow the account to a level where you're comfortable, where you don't need to add to it anymore, which is what I've done. And I've got a reasonably good sized account now and just plod along day by day.
Yep.
Have some winners and some losers.
Yes. And John, in terms of like risk, are you still keeping your risk low? You've obviously built your account size up. Risk is a big part of the way that we teach and we trade, and that still applies today. Definitely.
The course your course teaches us to use about 0.5% of your account. That's actually the actual maximum amount that I risk on a trade. I actually go all the way down to 2.2% of my account, depending on the quality of the trade setup.
Yes.
My trades are 0.25%, because it's sort of smack bang in the middle and it's easy. And even though the percentage gains on the account might not seem high, because I'm risking small amounts and my account size is a reasonably sized account, still able to earn a good dollar figure out of it. So I'm happy with that. And if I were to just go up to the 0.5%, I think my best year that I had was 31%.
Right.
And my worst year was 18.6 or something percent. I've got all my records. I keep all my records for the year.
Yes.
So the other years have been in the mid 20%. This year so far, I've been trading for six weeks because I've been away a few times, and I'm up at the moment. Finishing off this week, I'll be about 7%. So that's with risking like 0.25% of the account.
And also it's the consistency that you have there as well. That's the fantastic news. You know, it's 6 years in a row of profitable years. Yeah.
Well, you know, when we go out to functions or to parties or whatever, and we talk amongst some people, especially here in Doha, because there's a lot of professional people working in the area here, and get to talk to a few people, and some of the husbands or wives, they're actually in the mining industry or the oil industry, gas industry, or in the financial industry. And I met one gentleman he's retired. He just retired recently. He was a chief financial officer of a hedge fund in Bahrain, and they have investors that need to invest a minimum of $1 million to join the fund. And when I sort of got the conversation going with him, got onto a bit of trading and stuff like that, and tell him my returns and stuff like that, he's quite impressed, and he's interested now in having a look at, because he's retired, at getting involved in Forex as well. So I'm sort of guiding him in your general direction to learn the right way, so to speak.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
And John, in terms of like you've been trading for a long time, like I said, 2007, I think you said, and 2013 since you started with me, so 6 years ago. Any tips or information that you would have for anybody who either is brand new to trading or someone that, so a lot of people join after they've been frustrated with trading, they're almost ready to give up. Like yourself, you tried a lot of courses, they felt like they wasted a lot of time and money, and you know, I'm going to give it one last shot. And any advice for both of those two kinds of people?
Yeah, sure. I think for newbies, new people, you need to sort of work out yourself. Try to work. The psychology side of it for me was something that took me a long time to get a grasp on. And there's some. You have a good section in the course about that. But there is further YouTube videos from other people that really focus on the psychology side of trading as well, where once you find the right strategy that suits you, because there's so many different systems and strategies out there, and a lot of them work, but it's not the strategy that's the failure. It's a people thing. People don't follow rules. I'm surprised that there aren't more women traders, because women, believe it or not, can follow the rules very, very, very well.
Absolutely.
When they stick to the rules, they become fantastic traders. So I think that get yourself educated, really get yourself educated, and don't be afraid to start small, because when you put real money on the line, you certainly trade differently and you think differently, because it's your own heart and soul that's on the line. And patience. There are days weeks that the charts, I just can't see anything on the charts. And now I can go by and say 2 or 3 days or 4 days, even a week, not even place a trade, because there's nothing decent that suits what I want to do, or at that time when I'm at my computer, laptop. There were trades in the past, but I wasn't there. Bad luck, let them go. Wait for the right one. Talk to the people that have been successful. Yes, sometimes it's difficult to find the right people, because there's a lot of so-called traders. They call themselves traders, but they're only actually trying to teach people to trade. Where I found with yourself, I did a lot of research on you, seeing how your track record before I did finally commit, and realised that you walk the walk and talk the talk, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it's relatively a cheap business to get involved in. You can start with $500 if you want to, and then just build from there.
Yeah.
Don't expect to become rich overnight. No. And I have a good quote that I learned from someone else. It's a walk to wealth, not a race to riches. So just walk your way to wealth.
Yeah.
And you get there when you find the right recipe. Yeah.
Fantastic. And for the person that's been trying this for maybe months or many years, that's already, pulling their hair out, is not working. Any suggestions for those?
Yeah, get in contact with you for sure. Get in contact with yourself and look at the style of trading that we are doing, and it works in every facet of the time frames. The strategy that you've put together, we trade the 4 main longer time frames. I don't trade too much of the 1 hour time frames, because the risk to reward for me is not as good as what I think with the longer time frames. Yes. And I love the industry so much, and my wife can attest to that. This is my office right here. I'm sitting on the couch. My laptop's on the coffee table, and my TV's over there, and I have my charts open all the time, even when I'm watching TV in the middle of the night. Yeah.
Thanks here. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
And when the charts turn over to that time frame, it's very quick to just go through all the charts and have a look. If there's a trade there, I sort of grade them into what sort of probability of hitting a target, and then I will place my trade according to that, either at 0.2, 0.5, or 0.5 risk of the account. Place it and then let it go.
Yeah.
I did have a sort of bit of an issue earlier on where I was closing trades before they were hitting the targets. But that was the trade would get very close to the target and then it would stall there, and then I would close it, and then eventually after maybe another hour or so, then it would go forward and hit the target. So I missed out on a little bit of profit there, and I did a lot of back testing where you say to take part of the trade off the table, close part of the trade. I did a lot of back testing with taking 50% off and then letting the rest of the trade go. And more often than not, I found that I had a better off taking the whole trade off and forget about it and look for another opportunity, or just let it run.
Yeah.
Or sometimes what I do, if there's I see that the price is stalling, I may take 75% of the trade off and then just even move my target further because the trade is all over for me and I just forget about it.
Yeah.
I've learned that over experience,
Yes. And I suppose that's come with experience of being able to read the charts and almost not so much predict what's going to happen, but you have a very high probability and that almost like that gut feel of where things are going because of the time and the effort that you put in.
Yes, definitely. I look at your trade calls every day, and I sort of end up seeing them maybe 5 or 6 hours after you've released them, and sometimes the trades have already gone off in the general direction of the trade. Like I think the Australian Swiss franc did that this week.
Yes.
So it's gone, and some have gone back and hit the stop loss. So within that time period, people have got in and lost money. But I also bypass a lot of them because I feel that from my experience looking at the chart that, yes, the candle setup is there, but looking back past the last maybe 4 or 5 candles, if it's a sideways sort of trading, I will pass that. I'm not convinced. It's a lower grade trade for me.
Yes, yeah.
It's been a bit difficult for me. I missed one really good trade on the Great Britain Australian 8-hour trade,
right? Which
would have hit the profit target within 15 minutes. But that's what happens.
That's trading.
It's trading.
That's right. And John, going forward from here, what I'm hearing from you is obviously there's a lot of time and effort in your learning, but also that's paying off massively, but it's allowing you to become independent. You're still logging into webinars and daily trades just to keep in touch, but you're an independent trader.
Yeah, I still scour the internet, and I've learned that you never stop. You always look around to see what's news happening out there, because the markets do change. They go through phases of a lull, which there's not much happening, and our strategy it keeps us out of the market when those times come around. We wait we let the market come to us to tell us, okay, now is a good opportunity.
Yes.
So if people are sort of, that's because this is what happened to me in the past. You get bored, so you start looking for other ways to make it a bit more exciting, and that's where you get burnt. And so I look around and have a look at what other people are doing, and so there are times where I may look at a different strategy, but it doesn't suit I've learned that they don't suit what I've learned now.
Right.
I'm already in my way, and I've decided that's it. This is what it is. If there's no trades, forget about it. I've finished sort of adding to the account now, so I have made a couple of withdrawals for a few things from time to time.
Yes.
But there's a few opportunities now where there are some trading companies that want profitable traders to trade with their money. with their account. So I'm toying with the idea of looking at that at the moment, and you actually share a part of the profit. So I'm looking at doing that, and because of my background and my family's background, I'm never going to stop working. If there's always something for me to do, I'll always go and do something. And I'm really enjoying my time working at the school with the small kids, and I feel like I'm giving something back to the community. And I've sent you many emails on this, and you've actually changed my whole life, my family's life, because trading has been able to give me that choice to do that for our life. And I'm eternally grateful to you, and for helping me out in through the course and that. So you never know what the future's going to what the future's going to bring, but it's an industry that has longevity unless something major financially happens in the world. And when that happens, there'll be a lot of things that will be knocked out of the world. And it's a cheap way to start a business.
Oh, you know? It's the best. It's the ultimate business, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So if there's someone out there that's wants to try something, find the right mentor, which for me has been you, and concentrate and be patient, focus, and you will become successful. Definitely.
Awesome. John, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for sharing your story. And I hope that people watching this will really gain a lot and benefit from listening to you. So thanks once again.
Not a problem. Thank you.